Welcome back to another one. Today, gonna give y'all my opinion, what I think about the Super73 ZX. It's gonna be my review. I'm also gonna give y'all a breakdown of all the mods I did to this bike. And I'm gonna try to cover all the questions that I've had, come across my way about how I put this together, how hard it might have been, different questions that you guys was putting in the comment section and on IG. So I'm gonna attempt to cover as much of that as I can. All right, you guys, so after 683 miles, I'm gonna do a review. I racked up these miles pretty quick. Only took me a couple months. And I'm gonna give y'all a breakdown of what you need to know. First things first, we're gonna start with these tires. Lizard tires. 20 by 4.5 inches. Love these tires. Now the pros to this tire, they really smooth. It's a high speed tire, so you're not gonna feel a lot of rolling resistance with these. Practically no rolling resistance. They just go all day long. That's what I like about them. As far as what I don't like about them is when they get wet. If you're going around a turn and you hit a puddle, it's a good possibility you'll slide out. Especially if you ride at 25 psi or more like I do. You will experience some tail spin. It's a little fun if you know what you're doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can get hurt. So just a warning about about the traction on the tire. And even dirt, you can go in dirt just like any other tire, but you're not gonna have the best traction going uphill or nothing like that in dirt. So these are not recommended at all for dirt, in my opinion. As far as the bike is concerned, the frame, this is a solid frame, rigid. And I put this thing through its paces. As you can see, I got some performance upgrades on here, so I definitely have run this bike through the ringer, put it through its paces. Solid frame, love the styling. And when you get this bike fresh out of the box, the power delivery is enough for most people. I'm 220 pounds on a good day. I fluctuate between 220 and 230, so for me, I needed a little more power, so I went ahead and did whatever I needed to do to make that happen. But fresh out of the box, if you're the average Joe, the average person, you haven't been on a bike in a while, maybe you don't really go for top speed. This bike, it tops me out at 26 miles an hour in stock form. So that's what I have to say about that. Most people, when you get into these bikes, you don't realize how much range you might need. And that's where this battery comes in. This is a 12.5 amp hour stock battery. And you get, I was getting around anywhere from 18 to 22 miles. But I was always riding around in unlimited mode for the most part. So keep that in mind when you are thinking about getting this bike. This is why you see that extra battery on there. We'll get into that in a minute. This is a good platform for customization. There's a lot of room, as you can see in the center, for extra, storage space, battery space. You can put a basket right there where that motor is. You can add many accessories, it's just almost limitless. I've seen people do some crazy things to these Super 73s. Also, if you're interested in purchasing one, feel free to hit that link down below for $100 off your Super 73, aka your fun machine. At the time, I don't know if the ZX code, if this code works for the ZX, but I know it works for every other bike. So feel free to browse around if you see something you like. Let's get back to it. What I don't like about this bike. for $2,000, you know, $2,200 after, you know, taxes, fees, shipping, and everything. You know, you would like some hydraulic brakes, but you kind of do know that going into this. But still, for $2,000, you want hydraulic brakes. You know, the brakes that they came with were sturdy. They held up for about a week until I needed to adjust them for the first time, and then as soon as I put the modifications on, I was adjusting those brakes literally after every ride. And it's not Super73 fault that, you know, I added extra power to the bike, but for $2,000, I think that you can throw in some, you know, you can throw in some hydraulic brakes. The ones I threw on here were pretty cheap. And yeah, another thing was the range, which I mentioned already. The range in stock form wasn't enough for me. I like to go to the beach. I like to go from one beach to the next beach, from the beach back into the city, then to the city back home, you know. So I like to roll around a little bit. So I needed some extra juice to get around town. So that was another big con for me. It wasn't a big con because I still bought the bike, but it was a con getting on the bike and realizing that, you know, I could only go so far. You know, don't nobody, you know, want range anxiety. You know, when you out somewhere, you don't, you know, want to feel like you get stuck, you know. I know the feeling. And my third gripe with this bike, it comes with the plugs you need for a headlight, tail light. They're all like, you know, just there and ready to go. Only problem is they don't have a plug and play option for that yet, so I'm waiting on that. I'm not gonna complain about the lack of suspension because you know that going into this. Will I add a suspension fork in the future? Possibly. I'm not against it by far. Anything to make the ride a little more comfortable is probably gonna end up happening in the future. All right, now we're gonna get on to the performance mods. This is what everybody wanna know. How did I get this bike to go as fast as it goes? On flat, I've gotten it up to 42. Downhill, I've gotten it up to 50. This is where we start. We got the 1,000-watt Bafang BBSHD mid-drive. We got a 52-volt, 20-amp-hour battery from Amazon. I'll take you on this side. Got the ASI BAC855 upgraded controller for the mid-drive. That's how I'm able to get those speeds. Up front, we got dual throttle setup, dual thumb. And yes, if you give it, yeah, she'll go. She'll definitely go. We got the hydraulic brakes. These are about 60 bucks on Amazon, full system. Plug and play, slap them right on, take the other ones off, put these on, make your little adjustment right here with the little screw, the hex head, and you're good to go. No squeaking. Major difference in stopping power from the other brakes. You don't have to keep fiddling with these and adjusting these after every ride because of the cables stretching out on you. Had these for about 2 weeks so far. This is the way to go. 60 bucks on Amazon, full hydraulic brake system. Now with this upgraded controller going to the mid-drive, I can get a max 4,000 watts out of that controller with the right battery. Now, you know, for my guys that's really involved into, you know, modding their bikes, I get about 2,500 to 3,000 watts out of this 52-volt, 20-amp-hour battery from Amazon. It's not an expensive battery. It was only about 460 bucks. You can get better batteries and you can get more watts and more power out of a 52-volt, but this one was just, you know, a medium expensive option. So I decided to go with this one, and I'm happy with it. I still get plenty of range out of it. So no complaints there. If you want to get a better battery, they have better options. You know, there's a few places you can go. This chain right here is called a Zonkie, Z-O-N-K-I-E. Grabbed that one off of Amazon. I grabbed the KMC off of Amazon just in case this one didn't work out for me, but this one been working fine. This is an e-bike rated chain just like the KMC. It was about 14 to 16 bucks on Amazon, so it's not expensive. This chain ring is a 46 tooth chain ring. Got that from the kit that came with the motor from Unicycle. And these crank arms are extended. Those are not the stock crank arms. So yeah, this bike, it'll come up pretty easy. It'll wheelie on you pretty easy. I almost failed doing it already, so yeah. All right, so let me answer some of the questions you guys been shooting at me. The first one I'm gonna cover is, why don't you just get a motorcycle? And I would say that that's a good question, but I just don't think it's a good question because I hear it so much, and I don't think people really think about that before, you know, it comes out of their mouth. Me personally, I do have a motorcycle, a sport bike. I've had a few of them. And this is gonna sound like blasphemy to my guys in the motorcycle community, but I have more fun on this e-bike than I do on my sport bike, hands down. It's a different kind of fun. Slower speed, you know, you get to see a lot more of the city. But the reason I don't go getting a motorcycle and I want to upgrade my e-bike is because I already got a motorcycle and I want to upgrade my e-bike. I think it's as simple as that. It's the best way I can explain it. You know, I don't want to do too crazy speeds on this thing. I don't want to be doing, you know, 50 plus. That might sound crazy to some of y'all too. 50 plus, that's crazy. But let me speak on my section in particular. I live in South Los Angeles area, Inglewood area, you know, around there. So LA area in general. If you live in the LA area, then you know how these drivers get down around here. It's cutthroat. Everybody trying to get to where they're trying to get to, and they're willing to cut you off to get to it. Oh yeah, they'll cut you off in a second. And so with this bike in stock form, going only, you know, a max of 26 miles an hour, you know, you get in traffic and you feel a little timid. Everybody's going 35, 40 plus, and you just in this bike lane over here, and everybody's just passing you by. Or excuse me, let me even say it like this, because a lot of times you need that speed for lanes where there is no bike lane. When you're in the street and there's no bike, there's no lane for bikes, you need this, you need that torque. You definitely need that torque. You know, I never get nervous getting in the street with cars now with these upgrades because I take off across the light way faster than they do. So anybody behind me is definitely gonna see me doing that, and they're gonna make room for me. Most of the time, people just get over to the left lane and pass me up. It's not all about going around, you know, smashing around the city at high speed all day. That's not what it's about. I actually like to get good range out of this bike, and I also like having the speed and the torque to be able to keep up with the cars in the street when I need to. That's why that go buy a motorcycle debate, I'm trying to kill that right now. So yeah, every time I see that question come across my screen, I cringe like, come on, just get a motorcycle. But what would you say to the people that already have motorcycles? I guess you would say just be responsible, right? So if you're a guy that you want to upgrade your e-bike, I would just say please be responsible around other people. That's it. When nobody's around, have all the fucking fun you want. Question number 2. How hard was the install? If you're any kind of handy with a wrench, you can do this install. It took me about 3 hours, only because I didn't have all the right tools I needed right away. But the install is 90% plug and play. After you do one thing, there's a chainstay bracket at the top of the bottom bracket that's supposed to hold your chain guard. Take a metal file, a Dremel, a hacksaw, get that part off, and the motor slides right on. Everything after that is plug and play, assuming you bought the right battery to plug directly into the kit that you bought. That's it. It's really simple. This is stuff like this you can't really do on a motorcycle. Just be back somewhere chilling, don't nobody even know you here. Yeah, they can see you on the security cameras, but before they get a chance to say something, you long gone. Or you stick around and get content. Wait for the Karens to show up. Next question. What's your range after the upgrades with the new battery and mid-drive? Now, if I'm flying around town, not giving a damn, I get about 40 miles out of this thing. I'm talking about full power, flying around, and that's pretty good too. But if I'm conserving energy, I get anywhere from 40 miles to 70 to 80 miles with the way that the power is delivered to the mid-drive. If I'm on eco mode, I keep it low voltage, I get pretty good mileage out of this thing. I really only have to charge it once a week if I'm just riding around town doing leisure stuff, going to the store, not speeding. But anytime I hop on this thing and I'm going, you know, full throttle, I like to charge it after every ride, just to keep that battery, you know, ready to go at a moment's notice. Another question is, people ask me, how am I running both motors? The stock battery that came with the bike is running the hub on one thumb throttle. The secondary battery, which is the 52 volt, is running the mid-drive on another throttle. Those two throttles I showed you earlier are separate. You can use one or both. So for instance, if I was to pop a chain, then I could still get home on my hub motor. That's another advantage of this setup. I can still get home. Next question. Do I need gears to take advantage of the mid-drive power? And my answer to that is absolutely not, if you pair it with a rear hub. This hub motor is all the gears you'll need to help this motor. You don't need a cassette. This is a single speed. With these motors combined, the torque I get is crazy. Now, if you're not running a hub motor and you just running the mid-drive by itself, if you want any kind of torque, you're probably gonna have to have a gearing setup to take advantage of the torque. If you just have a single speed like the one I have now, then you're not gonna have the torque you want. But you will have the high speed, the top speed. You just won't have the low end torque. All right. Next question. Is the bike too heavy with the new setup? Some people seem to think so, and others not so much. Me, I'm more on the not so much. I can't really tell with the weight on here. I still lift it up and load it into my car without taking the batteries off. I can't really tell. Now there is like a 20-pound difference because I added on the motor and the battery, so there's around 20 pounds extra added to the bike, but for me it really didn't make a difference. For others it may. I'm coming from the motorcycle world, so you know, 360 plus pound vehicles, this feels like a toy to me. To others, it could probably you can get, to others you can get hurt, you know, if you don't. With great power comes great responsibility, and I'll just leave it at that. Does a pedal assist still work? Yes and no. No, because pedal assist does not work with the hub motor as it was intended, but pedal assist does work with the BBSHD. So yes, I still have pedal assist, but I have it through the mid-drive instead of the hub, which is actually a lot better in my opinion. Much more efficient. When I'm riding this thing at high speeds, once I get it up to speed using the dual throttles, the pedal assist takes over and I can use 750 watts, 1,000 watts and still keep up, you know, speeds in the mid 30s, sometimes higher. Last question was, or is, what kind of top speed you getting out of the bike now that you done upgraded everything? And we're gonna answer that question right now. All right, let's go. Head downhill for this one because when I go the other way there is a headwind, so we're trying to counteract what's going on with physics. All right, so let's do this one more time. We're gonna put it in sport mode. Let's run it. Yeah, I think I saw 38, but on a day where there's no wind, you can hold 38 easily. Let's go over here and get a brewski. Got a little hill right here. There's hills all around here. First of all, package secured. You know, we got the brewskis secured, you know. That's number one for right now. But anyway, with the uphill thing, I really don't need to do an uphill test. At least I don't feel like I need to. This bike will go uphill just fine. 20, 25 miles an hour. Even without pedaling, it'll take you. If you guys want to see a hill climb test on this bike, just I guess subscribe to the channel, and you can watch me do all the hill climbing you want on LAE skate routes. Long Beach, downtown Elysian. I haven't done the Santa Monica yet, but I heard Baldwin Hills is a killer. They got a killer hill up there that I want to get on the top and see what's going on up there. But subscribe for more. This vlog is about to come to an end. Again, if you want to get any of my mods that I mentioned in the video, I'll leave a link in the description for them if you need them. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more. Only if you want more, subscribe. And that's all I can think about right now as far as wrapping this video up. So hope you guys enjoyed the content. Come back, got more group rides coming, got more vlogs coming. We're gonna have some high-speed stuff coming too. For $100 off your Super 73, hit that link in the description. That'll be down there as well. Until the next one, be good.